Welcome, Acadiana viewers, to this week's edition of the Louisiana Heart Beats Show. I'm host Dennis Ward, and today in the studio we welcome husband and wife team and spiritual leaders of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Lafayette, Jeff Case and Arlene VanSant. Welcome.
Thank you,
Thank
Dennis.
you. Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Well, the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Lafayette is located at 709 Jefferson Boulevard, Lafayette, and it holds the services in the Camellia House. Very beautiful house. And Jeff, could you give us a brief history of the fellowships?
Sure. Our fellowship began in the 50s, the late 50s.
Wow.
It's continued ever since. It's a small group, and it's a lay-led group. So we take turns leading the services, giving presentations, although sometimes we have visiting ministers who come, and sometimes we have outside presentations as well. We're part of the larger Unitarian Universalist Association, which has over 1,000 member congregations with more than 200,000 members.
200,000 wow.
members, yes indeed. We are, of course, like I said, pretty small, but
we're still part of that.
But we're part of that. We're part of that. Sometimes Unitarian Universalist Church gets confused with the Unity Church. We're not the same. We do share some common themes and such, but we are different. We have roots in our liberal Christian theology, and we draw from a variety of religious traditions and other traditions, humanist, spiritual, and other traditions.
Well, I have been associated about 1 year with this particular branch of Unitarian churches, and my experiences go back decades to Atlanta and Montreal and the North Georgia mountains, and I must say I love the tone and welcoming fellowship. When you walk into the Unitarian Church, it's just very come as you are, and it's small, but there's a growing membership in this particular Lafayette that is based on tolerance, acceptance,
Yes.
and encompassing points of view. And Jeff, you are the current president, and could you discuss the 7 principles
Sure.
of Unitarianism?
Sure. We don't have a creed that you must believe to belong to become a Unitarian Universalist. What we have instead is 7 principles that we affirm and try to promote and try as best we can to strive for. That includes things like the worth and dignity of every person, justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, acceptance of one another, encouragement to spiritual growth, free and responsible search for truth and meaning, conscience, trying to do what's right, and the democratic process in our congregation and in society, world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all, and respect for life and all existence, including us humans.
That's wonderful inclusiveness.
Yes, these are some of the things that kind of attracted me to Unitarian Universalism.
My favorite of all those principles is the inherent worth and dignity of all people. That just, to me, stands for so much. Well, Arlene, you and Jeff both moved from Roseville, California,
Right.
Yeah.
in 2009
Correct.
to Lafayette. And you said in your biohistory that when you came to Lafayette, you attended a few churches and you just weren't feeling it, and you came to the Unitarian Fellowship. And could you relate that first experience a little bit?
Well, actually, Jeff was the one that found it first because I was back in California visiting But yes, we had been searching for our church family after we moved. We did belong to the Unity Church in California. So we were looking for that same type of loving spirit that we found in our family there. So Jeff called me in California and said, you know, I found this small group. It's a very small group, but I think that this is something that, you know, we'd be interested in. So when I came back, we went, and everybody was just so welcoming and so friendly and just brought us under their wings right away. And we just said, yeah, this is home.
Spiritual home.
Yeah, and
That's great.
it was a small group, but the intimacy of the small group we really liked too, and we could bond real easily.
Well, one of the things I like being a small group, we have traditions like the lighting of the chalice and sharing our joys and concerns by lighting a candle. And if you have a church of like 2 to 4 plus 100 people, there's no way that 400 people they'll burn the church down. But these are intimate things. We have a coffee hour before we get started. Well, not an hour, but
Right. We start at 10:30 with our coffee social. It's a greet and meet. And then if new people want to come, we have that half an hour to greet you, meet you, find a little bit about you, and you can find out a little bit about us, meet our president and other board members. So yeah, it's a nice time.
if your point of view is all-encompassing and tolerant, you're going to feel really welcome and at home instantly. That's my experience.
Yes,
anyway.
I think so too. We have people that are just open and friendly. They're looking for, you know, companionship and camaraderie, and if it develops into friendships, you know, that often happens. We've made a lot of friends like yourself, you know, from folks that we've met in the fellowship, and we've had a couple of recent newcomers who have said similar things, that they felt very
That's
welcomed.
right. Well, if you're just joining us, we have in the studio today Jeff Case and Arlene VanSant of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, and we're discussing this small fellowship that meets at the Camellia House. It's at 709 Jefferson Street. That's the Sterling Heights neighborhood?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Where it takes a right turn
Yes,
and becomes
it's become
Moss.
Moss. Right, it's right on that curve.
Well, Jeff, you're a talented fellow in many veins, and IT manager at Iberia Bank, but you have a special talent of music and a long career as a musician.
Yes, I do. That's true.
And I think you have just added so much to the services by leading them with music. And could you discuss some of the themes of the music you've integrated into our services and how they've uplifted the people and brought back good memories? And
Well, yeah, those are things, exactly things that I try to do. I look for songs including hymns and popular songs from the 60s through the decades on up to even today. And I try to find songs that in some way tie into the topic of the presentation that we have that Sunday. We also have monthly themes that we try to fit our talks into. Sometimes there's exceptions to that, but and I also try to find songs that fit into our 7 principles somehow.
Okay.
Maybe they have a bit of a spiritual, tone to them, or in the lyrics, or maybe they are kind of about acceptance or something like that. One or the other of our many great principles.
Didn't you do
So-
Jeremiah was a bullfighter?
Yes, we did that once. Now that was
was
not
fun.
exactly a spiritual song. That was just for fun.
Right.
But yeah, we do quite a
That
variety.
was maybe Jeremiah from the Bible.
Right.
No, not really.
Okay.
But we've done songs like Man in the Mirror and Let It Be, True Colors, Peace Train, What If God Was One of Us, things like that. And some of our, I want to
Imagine.
mention a few of our upcoming things. Yes, Imagine's a great one, a great example of a popular song. that
What's fun is knowing the words from our
Right, right.
generation.
Right.
Well, Arlene, you're chairman of the membership committee.
Yes.
And since you've been in that role, we've seen a significant increase
Yes.
in
I'm
membership.
proud to say that's true. We've doubled our membership.
That's great. And, well, you have a special goal for the fellowship as far as religious education program?
Yes, we are, right now, all we offer is babysitting services because we are so small. But what we'd like to do is develop a full religious education for our youth so that hopefully the younger generation will have an interest in coming and being part of our services, and then giving their children a more rounded religious education development, because Unitarians, we teach our children to learn to respect and accept people of all diversities, and that is our main focus. We teach them all of the various religions and cultures, and then as they grow and mature, they have a well-rounded education of all these different religions, and then they can pick and choose their own for what suits their soul, what suits their needs in the life that they prepared for themselves.
I
So
think
we're
that's
looking
great.
forward to that a lot, and we are in the process now of developing that program.
Well, that is the wonderful thing that over the years, the decades I've been associated as a Unitarian, is learning so many of the faiths of different countries, different continents, India, the Baha'i Breath, just Hinduism, Buddhism. I mean, we don't have to believe that, but we
Right.
learn about their point of view.
Right. We accept and bring in all beliefs. And we have people that attend our services that belong to the Catholic Church, and they still are members of that church, but they come to us to broaden their religious education and to learn. If we don't all intermix and interchange each other's thoughts and cultures, then we will be more accepting and we can all live in unity.
Oh, I wish it would spread.
Well, that's what we want to try and do.
Well, Jeff, the fellowship has been recognized for its support for many different local causes. Move the Mindset comes first to mind. And we are associated with ARF. Could you elaborate on
Sure.
some of the causes and
Sure.
organizations?
Well, let me say first that Unitarian Universalism itself, many, not all, but many members are active in a number of causes. Things like the political, or things like the civil rights movement, the LGBTQ movement, rights movement, social justice things, feminist movements, other things like that. Historically, that's been true. There were Unitarian Universalist ministers as some of the first freedom riders back in the early 60s. At the Charlottesville rally last year, several Unitarian Universalist ministers played a key role in that. But locally, we have a number of members who are active in some of these local causes, like you mentioned, Move the Mindset, the ARF Animal Rescue Group, That's where we got our dog.
Lily's beautiful.
Little Lily. But we've also supported, or we've always supported charities, and lately that's been some of those, and the Tesh Project. We've also been involved in the Pride Festival, as you know.
Yes.
We've adopted a local family at Christmas time, things like that.
Well, that is tremendous. I think that, that outreach in our community is very special. And we've had speakers that have come to the fellowship and explained further about their causes and the history, and that's all been just a great foundation to better know our community and put down roots of our Unitarianism, as small as we are.
But we're growing.
Yes,
I want to emphasize we are growing.
We are
and I think more shows that we do like this, and we had the jazz concert.
Spirit of Jazz concert.
That the community is beginning to know us, and there is a niche out there in the community that would feel very welcomed in our little family.
So we have a website graphic in the screen, lower left-hand corner of the screen. If you'd like to visit www.uulala.com, you can learn more about the fellowship and Unitarianism and find out about our membership, events, services.
One thing there, we may have a redirect on that from .com, but it's actually .org.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry.
if you would like to check
It's
that out, it may work if you put in .com, but if you would like to check out, if you're interested in more information, www.uulala, the letters UULALA.org.
ORG. Well, Unitarian Universalists aren't too serious at times, most times. And you gave a sermon recently, Arlene, that encouraged humor and lightness of being. I'll tell you, it was great.
Well, Dennis, even though it's about humor, it's a serious subject, and we want to treat it appropriately.
Yes,
Arlene
I think so.
can shed some light on that.
Well, yes, we do like to have fun at our services, and we were doing a series of talks on the Book of Joy by the Dalai Lama and Bishop Tutu. And so each one of us took one of the 8 pillars of joy, and I chose humor, and it was humor and perspective. So at the beginning of our service, I wanted to do an exercise so people could understand that we don't have to be so serious in life all the time. And if we bring some humor into the things that bother us, then we'll have a different perspective of how to live our life, and we'll find more joy in our life. So in the beginning, I made everybody put the red noses on. But I started the exercise with everybody taking a partner and just explaining something that happened to them during the week that annoyed them, made them angry, made them mad, or whatever. And so everybody really got into it and started telling their stories, and then I had them open a bag and put their red noses on. And I said, okay, so now I want you to go back to your partner with your red noses on. I defy you not to laugh. And, and then tell your story, but this time tell it with some humor in it. And everybody really got into it, and they were all laughing, and they really then understood how humor can change their perspective in life and bring some joy into them. And what was really satisfying was after the service and all through the week, I was getting emails and text messages with people with their red noses on and saying, I met this angry cashier and I just put my red nose on and made them laugh. You know? Or my wife started, nagging at me, and I just took my red nose out and put my red nose on. So it was really very effective, and we had a lot of fun.
We did.
We also, in that service, we normally, before our talks, we have a meditation, 5 minutes of meditation. And so I did not do that on this service, but in the service, after they had their red noses on, we did a laughing meditation. And we laughed continuously for a minute, and that really just relieved everybody's tension, and it was a lot of fun.
That's great. It shows that the recipe of life includes a little large dose of
Yes.
humor.
Right.
Large
Silliness of
doses,
it.
please.
Yes.
Well, we are a very social group,
Yes, we are.
and we have a lot of fun to get togethers. Could we go to a 4th of July picture? And we have game night, and here's
This is at our house. We host 2 parties for the church, Christmas and a summer party, kicking off summer or whatever. This year we did it for the 4th of July, and we also celebrated Juneteenth also, which is very important. So yes, this was at our house.
it was a nice evening. Then we had fireworks that
Yes,
evening.
Jeff did a very good fireworks show. I was very
That
proud
was
of him.
great. And maybe the next picture, please.
Oh, this is game night. We get together once a month and we play games. We've been learning Bouret, and we've played Trivial Pursuit and various games, depending on how many people we have.
Yeah, we got to get that Farkle going.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
The next picture, please. This was one of my favorite
This
Sundays.
was great.
Go ahead and explain.
Well, I'll let Jeff explain because he
I have
led
to
the
take this off
service.
now, though, although
Yeah.
I love it and I love the humor. We wanted to do a service relating to nature, so we contacted the folks at Jefferson Island, and they were kind enough to allow us to come in without the normal charge, or at least at a discount. And we had our service there. We also had a service still at the Camellia House in case anybody wanted to come to that or wasn't able to come to Jefferson Island. But we read some poems about nature, sang some songs, had our whole theme about that, had a brief talk about nature and spirituality, all at the beautiful surroundings of
Yes.
Jefferson Island, overlooking the lake there, and it was wonderful.
Don't know if anybody can see in the middle of this shot the peacock
Yeah, right.
and
Yes.
and the Rip Van Winkle Gardens
Yes.
it was such a zen experience for me. It was very hot, but beautiful. I want to go back.
We
in
were in the
fall
shade, though,
and
so-
really
Right.
enjoy it.
And then we had lunch afterwards there at their restaurant.
Yes.
Well, if we could proceed to the next picture. And we had a wonderful lunch.
Oh, yeah, that was the view we
That's the
had.
view, yes,
That
correct.
we had while we had the service.
Very interesting history of this
Yes,
place.
yes, it is.
But I think it's great that we leave the sanctuary once in a while and just go out to nature and celebrate the energy, the good energy of nature. And
We do
was
that twice a
lovely.
year,
Oh, okay.
spring and fall. And in October, we're going to be going to Avery Island.
Oh, I can't wait.
So-
That's lovely. Okay, and the next picture, please. Here we are in your home again.
Yes, this is at our house. We have a Christmas caroling party, and Jeff leads us, plays his guitar, and we sing all the Christmas carols. And then we have one of our members, Susan Morton. She's a cellist, and and Bruce, he plays classical guitar, and so they always do a few songs for us too. That's just beautiful.
That was a lovely part of my Christmas. A very beautiful night. Well, I think there's one more picture to go. And this was taken at the 2018 Acadiana Pride Festival, and we did
Right.
a table that day
Right,
together.
right. It was a lot of fun.
And there in the middle is a very special lady, Mimi Method.
Yes, very special to our church and to the community.
And she will be speaking August 12th. I
August
understand.
12th, yes. She is part of the AMI Kids program, and she'll be speaking about the kids program, and she will be bringing a couple, they're at-risk kids, and she will be bringing some of the kids with her to talk to us, so that'll be very nice to hear about.
Well, I can't
And she's
wait.
also a candidate for Congresswoman.
Yes, in the 3rd Congressional District.
Yes,
So everybody vote this fall.
yes, we're hoping everybody will vote yes.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on the Louisiana Heart Beats Show. It just has went lovely and to have you here and learn about the fellowship, and thank you.
Oh, well, we
Thank you,
appreciate
Dennis.
you inviting us. It was fun.
Yes.
And we hope that all of you will come out and visit with us on a Sunday, or you're welcome to come to any of our events.
And if you're looking for more information, www.uulala.org.
Okay, I think that's just about a wrap. Very good. Perfect. We got everything in.
We did.
You did great, honey.